You brought in this big family Bible, so I looked on the inside. This is from 1881, and you acquired this from a piece of property that you had down in the cities, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. We bought income property at one time and rehabbed it, and this was in the attic at that piece of property. Mm-hmm. And actually, we have friends now and he's a minister, and his name is the same as the name on this book, on this Bible. So that's why I was real interested in it too.
Yeah. This is what they call a family Bible. Originally, this used to have some pages on the front where you could put your genealogy in, and those have been removed. And we did find some water damage on some of the lithographs on the inside. But these were big ones, and they'd have them in their home, and they'd read their scriptures out of these big family Bibles. Like I said, this one's from 1881. It is in English, which is a plus. A lot of these Bibles were in German or Scandinavian languages, but this one is in English. Their popularity in recent years has dropped quite a bit, and so there's not a lot of people that pick up these big old Bibles. So, but we still think this one, since it is in English and the leather is still in pretty good shape, that it would have a value of somewhere around $40. So. Thanks for showing that for us.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you brought in some gorgeous porcelain from Germany, if I'm not mistaken. And how did you come by these pieces?
My husband's family were in Germany because his father was a career army man. Mm-hmm. And so this was purchased somewhere between 1952 and 1955 because the family came back. My husband wasn't sure if it was late 1955 or early 1956 from Europe. And we think that they purchased this set and several other things so that they could give each of their children something when they got older as a remembrance of their time in Germany.
That's a wonderful idea. In fact, back in the early 50s, a lot of these porcelain factories were selling things at a pretty reasonable price because they were still recovering from an economic defeat during World War II. Mm-hmm. So we did take a look at this mark that's on the bottom, and I'll lift this one cornucopia up so you can see it. And this mark was used by the Sandozel porcelain factory in Sandozel, Bavaria, and Germany. And this mark dates from 1951, so that really fits into the time period of when his family was in Germany. Mm-hmm. So it's a beautiful set with applied porcelain roses and very nicely detailed leaves, and quite a few serving pieces here with and an interesting one little single applied rose. And we looked at the back, and it looks like it hasn't been removed from any pieces, just a nice little table decoration. But this whole set from Sandozel, we figured today would bring a value of somewhere around $300 to $450. So I'm not sure what they paid for it, and they probably wouldn't tell you anyway. But I bet you that it turns out to be a pretty good investment for what
they are both deceased. Yeah. So and I didn't know about the set until his mother had passed away.
Yeah. They're a good porcelain company, and I think they're still in existence. So if they've been around that long, they must be making good stuff. So I really appreciate you bringing it. It's just a beautiful set with the pink roses on there.
Thank you.
Lundberg with Aim for It Fitness, bringing you some health and fitness tips. Today I got our local running expert, actually national running expert, Dick Beardsley here, and we are going to go over some actual running technique and tips on how to improve your running. And Dick, when I see you working with clients myself, I see a lot of different things that I feel are wrong, just wasted energy, as I put it. And I think, like, you're working on your golf, you're working on your baseball game, you're working on swimming, whatever it is, you always are working on technique. And I think something I never hear about is running technique. So let's talk about it.
Amy, it's so important because the more proper technique you have, the more efficient you're going to be. You're going to use that much less energy, and it's going to make the running seem that much easier. So it's really, really important.
And bottom line, a faster time too?
Bottom line, faster times.
All
You
right.
bet.
So one of the things that I always see with my clients, and if I'm driving around, driving on the road or something, I see people running, I see a lot of crossing right here, which I think is the easiest thing for me to correct with my clientele, and one that I think the people could correct quite easily.
You bet.
So what I see is just doing this, running around, crossing as they jog
That's
out.
exactly right, Amy, and there's a lot of wasted energy when your arms are going back and forth like this. What I suggest to people is imagine that you have an imaginary fence coming right down the middle of your body, and you don't want to bring those arms, those hands across that fence line. It's pretty simple, and it really makes it a lot more efficient.
Perfect. And what I say to my clients is just linear movement, just going back and forth rather than crossing. Excellent cue. Also, I find too with people is their stride. I mean, I see people, I hear the cue, light as a feather.
Right.
Try to really lighten your step up. And I just see a lot of heavy pounding right into the heels and just really
Yeah, and the heavy
dragging
pounding,
them.
you know, a lot of people think, you know, they read books and magazine articles on running, you got to go heel toe, heel toe. Well, I've always been a runner that even in marathons, 26.2 miles, I'm more up on the balls of my feet. And the shorter the distance, the more you want to be up on the front part of your foot. Again, it makes you lighter on your feet. You don't get that plodding. And again, you're going to be that much more efficient.
So you're just staying up more on the balls of your feet.
Exactly.
Okay, when you say shorter distance, are you meaning shorter stride or shorter like 5K, half marathon, what do you mean by
Yeah,
distance?
like when I say shorter distance, I'm talking like those races, a mile, 5K, even up to 10 to 15 kilometer races. When you want to be more up on the balls of your feet, you'll be a lot lighter. Now, in a marathon, of course, it's 26 miles. Then to be up on the balls of your feet that long puts a lot of strain on the calf muscles.
Calf burn,
You know,
right there.
Right, and I've been doing it for 30 years, and that's just always the way I ran and continue to run. But yeah, in the shorter races, the more up you can be on your feet, the better off, more efficient you're going to be. And again, faster times.
Great. So thinking light on your feet, a lighter feel to the toes, and
Exactly.
just not really just pounding in.
You bet.
I'd say from flopping down on
That's
the
right.
floor. Great. Also then, one of the things that I hear is neck rotation. I see a lot of, or even stride length. Do
Yes.
you want to talk about that?
Oh, the stride length is really, really important. You know, a lot of people think that the longer the stride, the faster I'm going to be. And so some people try to lengthen their stride. What I tell people is whatever comes most natural. Now, some people just naturally have a longer stride and are efficient with that. Other people have shorter strides. But again, the shorter the race, the faster most people run. So just normally your stride will be a little bit longer. So the faster you run, normally the longer the stride will be. But again, whatever's most comfortable for you is the way you want to go.
Great. So for us that are just beginners working
Sure.
out, so we just want to really focus on linear moving in that, not crossing the line.
Exactly.
Kind of staying up on our balls of
Yep.
our feet, or going more heel toe if it's a marathon.
Right.
Okay. And then what about the neck? Because I see a lot of people jogging their neck back and forth.
Yeah,
and
again,
just-
it all comes
Huge.
down to wasted energy.
Yes.
Now, you'll see me out running sometimes, and if I start getting tight in my shoulders, I'll be out running along at a pretty good pace, and I'll kind of roll my head out, you know, but you can tell I'm doing it just to loosen myself up. But again, when you're running along and going back and forth, bobbing that head, it's a lot of wasted motion, lots of wasted energy.
So relaxation is key too. Just keep telling yourself to relax the shoulders. I say all the way down to the very tips of my fingers.
Exactly, that's the
Just
key.
keep
Relaxation will make running that much more comfortable, that much more faster times.
This is Amy Lundberg with Aim For It Fitness with running expert Dick Beardsley, giving you some running technique to improve your run, whatever it may be, but more importantly, just to enjoy going out there and being able to move. Take care, everyone.